Kia ora, ko Amadeo toku ingoa, no peina ahau. I came all the way from Spain about 20 years ago, and I work at the Otago Museum as a science communicator. The Otago Museum is home to the biggest science center in New Zealand, and so we like doing all sorts of science. I am a geologist, so I have a special passion for rocks, and I welcome you to my bubble here, and I welcome you to the rock that is full of bubbles. Go rock hunting on your own garden, see what rocks you can find anywhere in New Zealand. Depending on where you are, you will find maybe volcanic rocks like this. You might find fossils. You might find rocks that have fossils. And I have in my garden some limestone sedimentary with fossils. You might find some metamorphic rocks that are just really squashed, like this one here. Amazing rocks. Be a geologist in your garden. At the Otago Museum we like doing a lot of science, and so in the next few minutes I'm going to show you what kind of science you can do at your own home. You can be a geologist in your garden. You can be a biologist going for a bug hunt, and I have done that today and found some incredible things like this spider. We have also found some snails. We have found some slaters. Amazing invertebrates are hiding in your own garden, so go and see them. And something else that we do like doing at the museum is experiments. So I'm going to show you a couple of experiments. In fact, I'm going to call them challenges. I'm going to set up here, and since this is a challenge, I'm going to invite someone to challenge. So in your own home, prepare a cup of water. We are speaking about insects. When you look at how insects have evolved to live where they are, they have incredible adaptations. So I'm sure you've seen this before. George, I'm going to call you in because I will ask you to be part of this challenge, and everyone at home try this. Actually, George, tell us what this is all about.
Well, basically, if you've ever noticed like a swimmer come up from the water, you'll see that the water kind of sticks around him for a second, and that is called surface tension. It basically means if you don't break the surface tension, anything can walk on water.
And actually,
as long as you're light enough.
Insects can do this really well. I don't know if you've seen insects floating. So these are paper clips, but the challenge is, how many paper clips can you float on water? Oh, see, that one just sank. Here's a little trick you can make with a paper clip if you hold it up like that. So hold this there, and we put another paper clip on top. You should be able to lower it onto the water. There we go. And it should actually float. If you don't have the paper clip fall...
What? How did I do? What?
Try it again. If you don't have the paper clip, break the surface tension of the water, it will float. There we go. It's lowering it, and there we go. It's floating. So that's one. You pick up from here. I pick up from here, and challenge. How many can you make float? Oh, it's hard, but you just have to lower them very, very lightly. So we put them in the water, and without breaking the surface tension of the water, there we go. They should float. I have one, you have two. George wins, but give it some time. Amazing mastering of the surface tension.
I have one now.
Oh, yeah, that can happen a lot. I'll help you with this. We are going to go to the bath next and do some physics. Bathrooms are the perfect physics labs. So let's start speaking about animals that don't live in your garden, but live in the water. And we're going to go for octopuses first. Let's do it. Let's go. Welcome to my bubble bath. When you are, and if you have a bath at home, when you are in the bathroom, this is the perfect physics lab. And if you have balloons, I'm going to challenge you to do a few things. And we just saw outside in the garden some amazing evolution from all the animals that live there, plants as well. And we were speaking about octopus as well. Now we can see an octopus actually move underwater. Remember, that's the siphon, and if you put it underwater, you will see a lot of movement going there. That is how octopuses move. While you're having a bath, why not have an octopus race? And octopuses are one of the many animals that have incredible evolutionary adaptations. Another challenge for you: grab a bottle from your recycling bin, open it, fill it up with water in your bath, and then grab a little bit of blue tack. I have some blue tack here with a water bomb that I have put air in. If I test it while you're having a bath, test it to make sure that it's floating just below the surface of the water, and then you'll be able to put it into the bottle, close the bottle, and now you can experiment like fish would. Modern fish have swim bladders, a little bit of a bubble of air that they can use to stay up or come down. The trick is to squeeze the bottle. When you squish it, it goes down. When you let go, it goes up. Now, here's the challenge. How long can you make the fish stay just in the middle? Just like this. Good on you, Nemo. Nemo is a very obedient fish. How long you can challenge people in your family. And all you have to do is keep the pressure right for the fish to stay in the middle. When it goes up, you're out. There we go. This is your fish challenge, and that's physics once again. Physics is the science that studies forces and energy. I'm going to show you something else. I have another balloon here. Fill a balloon with water and then twist a little bit of it. Another amazing physics experiment, because you will have seen water going out of the octopus just before, for example, but what I'm going to try to do now, and if you twist a little bubble of the edge of the balloon and pop it, there will be a point at which this bit of balloon pops. You will make a perfectly circular hole, and there we go, it's popped. That hole now is going to allow some water to come out, and the water is going to move out of the balloon with very little movement, no turbulence. That is called laminar flow. So explore laminar flow. Once it's actually turning down, there's a lot of movement there in the water, but if you look really close to the balloon, it's almost as if the water has frozen. Laminar flow is an amazing thing to see, and a very cool thing to experiment with when you're having a shower, or actually a bath better. So there are a few challenges for you to enjoy some science in the bath. Yes, and from the physics lab in the bathroom, those are the best physics labs that you can use at home, to the chemistry lab in the kitchen. A lot of physics happen in the kitchen as well, but I have just boiled some cabbage, and I'm going to show you a few cool things that you can do chemistry-wise in your chemistry lab, which is the kitchen. pH is actually something that you can find out from different liquids. The pH is how acidic something is. I've got vinegar here. If you put cabbage juice in it, you'll see the color change. Pink is what acids are like. Red, orange. For cabbage juice, it depends on what you boil. If you boil cabbage juice neutral, which is water, will be kind of purple. And I've got here some baking soda in water. So if I pour some there, we see the blue that bases are like. So acids, pink, bases, blue. Amazing science that you can experiment with. And the challenge here would be, how many different colors can you get? What if you mix bases and acids? You start getting, actually you should be able to start getting it neutralized as well at the end, and get the same color that you had at the very beginning. Of course it's going to react, so you need to be careful, because this could react too much and come out of the cup. Carbon dioxide is what comes out of that reaction, and I'd like you to try something else. Check this out. If you burn a candle and you put it in a bowl. And then into this bowl you put a little bit of vinegar. I have elevated the candle a little bit so that you can have the vinegar down there. And you add a little bit of baking soda now. What happens is that the carbon dioxide that comes out of the reaction will put the fire off. Carbon dioxide is what comes out of a fire extinguisher. And check this out, if I light some fire and put it into the bowl, it will automatically go off because this bowl is full of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a lot heavier than air, so it stays there until I blow it off. Now I can reignite the candle, and if I pour a little bit of baking soda again and make more carbon dioxide, the candle will come off. Try this at home. Amazing chemistry that you can do right in your kitchen. So enjoy that. Enjoy all the things that I've done in this video, but also enjoy more. And if you go to the Otago Museum website, if you see at home, you will see heaps of activities there that science communicators from the museum have posted for you to do at home. So enjoy your bubble and be kind. See you next time. Bye.